What's up, my people? Welcome to my YouTube channel, The Kenyan American TV, and thank you so much for logging in. If you're new here, welcome, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, and then you'll get notified every time I upload a video. And for the returning subscribers, thank you so much for coming back. And today we're going to be talking about AuPair. We're going to be talking about the AuPair program, and I'll be, and especially when it comes to African au pairs, in regards to coming to the US as au pairs. And au pair falls under the visa category of J1, which is the exchange, the exchange program visa. And so au pairs as an au pair, just to go through some of the, the requirements as an of an au pair is, an au pair gets the opportunity to come to the US and and connects with a host family and pretty much gets it's a cultural exchange program where you get to come to the US, you get to experience the American culture, and also to the American family gets to receive what they call reliable and responsible childcare from individuals who become part of the family. And so you come from whatever country you come from, come to the US, and then you get connected with this host family, and you get provide them with childcare, but also in turn they get to give you change. So some of the is number one, you have to be proficient in spoken English. So you have to speak English, and the requirement is you have to have a minimum of a secondary school diploma, the high school diploma. So you have to have graduated from school, from high school, or or equivalent to that, and you have to be between 18 to 26 years old. 18 to 26 years old, and it's and you have to be fully you must be able to kind of participate in the program. So physically being able to take care of the kids, and of course the biggest thing is you have to have passed the background check. You have to have passed the background check. And then the program, what I'll do today is I'll kind of walk you through the program, and we'll walk through some of the designated sponsors, which people would call agencies, and we'll talk through them. There's been a lot of controversy around au pair US and Africa, because a lot of people have the idea that you cannot be an au pair in the US, especially if you come from certain African countries. Oftentimes, like I come from Kenya, and so one of the myths that has been passed around is like au pairs from Kenya are banned from coming to the US, which is incorrect. So au pair, Kenya hasn't been banned. Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Congo, Rwanda, those countries, they haven't been banned from participating in the au pair program in the US. The problem is, and the difficulty is that the agencies, the designated sponsors that are responsible for recruiting au pairs, a lot of times they're not operating in those African countries. Part of the reason is there could be a lot of reasons why you don't find agencies in a country like Kenya, where I come from. One of the reasons is the difficulty in getting visas in those countries. So this designated sponsors, they don't want to go through the whole process of recruiting an au pair only for them to be denied visas. And especially in these countries like Kenya, getting a visa to come to the US is often difficult. And so the investment to get an au pair, start a process with them, and have them denied visas, it becomes one of the deterrent why these agencies are not wanting to work in these countries. The other thing is political, the political atmosphere that is happening, but also too the fact that when you come in as an au pair, initially you get a 12-month period where you get to au pair 12 month, and then you can extend for up to another 12 months. And then after that is you're supposed to come back to your home country. Now, part of the reason why, some of these agencies don't want to go in some African countries is because oftentimes when people come to the US, they don't want to go back to their home countries. And so, but the program is supposed to be an exchange program where you're supposed to come to the US, be immersed in the American culture, and then after that, you go back to your home country. But unfortunately, when a lot of people come here, they want to stay here. They want to stay here for good. And so a variety of factors have made it difficult for these agencies to be in these countries. But that doesn't mean that au pairs from Africa cannot come to the US. No, actually, there are countries in Africa that have designated sponsors, what you would call agencies that can bring you from Africa to the US. South Africa is one of those countries, Namibia is another country. And so there are countries that have agencies that are located in there that can bring you to the US. And we'll walk you through, I'll show you kind of we'll walk through some of the designated sponsors, go to their websites and kind of walk through, what are the fees that are involved in the process? Because I want you to see everything. I want you to be, to kind of be aware, because it's each agency, each designated sponsor is different, and each is located in different places, is working in different places, and so I will kind of walk you through. So just to as I just wanted to point out that when you come in as an au pair, it's not really about the money, because it doesn't pay as much. Au pairs don't pay as much. It's not about the money. I mean, au pairs in the US get paid way more than au pairs like in Europe. But becoming an au pair is not about the money. It's about the culture, it's about the exchange, the cultural exchange. You coming in, with your African culture, and then the American family that you get, connected with, they get immersed into your culture because you become part of their family. And that's really the whole, it's to get you to experience, a whole different culture, and to get the Americans to experience a whole different culture. Okay, so let me walk you through. So just before I continue further, that when you talk about the J1 program, uh, one of the things that people don't understand, and I can show you, I can share this with you, is the J1 program has about 14 programs that people don't often talk about. When I talk about, there are over 185 different types of visas that you can come to the, ways, visa and visa types that you can come to the US. There is a variety of ways that you can come to the US. And a lot of people don't know a lot of those visas. And so for me, what I do is I go kind of dig into those visas and come here and explain them to you. So let me walk you through the J1 program and kind of like the visas that are in that program. Let me see. Let me share the screen. Share the screen with you. All right. So the J1. Okay, let me move this. All right. So yeah. So when I was, let me make my screen a little bit bigger. That way you can see. Make the screen bigger. I think I'll go full screen too. That way you can be able to hear me. All right. So the J1 programs that are there are, so there's an au pair. You can come as a camp counselor. You can come as a college or university student. You can come as a government visitor, an intern program, international visitor, physician, professor, research scholar. You can come as a secondary student, short-term scholar, specialist, STEM initiative, and also, there's a summer work travel program. All right. But we're here focusing on, focusing on the AuPair program, which I'll walk you through. And this is kind of like the things that, so there are, there are different we'll walk through. So it tells you, you can live with a host family for 12 months with the option to extend for 6, 9, or 12 more months. So you can extend for another, for another 12 months or so. All right. Let me walk you through the designated sponsors. And these are like the agencies that can bring you here with the AuPair program. And this links, I'm gonna put the links in the, in the description of the video. See them. And then let me try and make it even bigger. That way you can see them. So maybe that's too here. Actually, that's not too bad. All right. So this are these AuPair Inc. that is in California, American Institute for Foreign Study that is, AuPair in America is in Connecticut. And so these are the AuPair International Inc. In Colorado. So all these are registered, designated agencies that can bring you there. And, let's, what I'll do is I'll walk you through some of, let's start with maybe AuPair Care. Let's start with AuPair Care. So if you come to AuPair Care, so this is AuPair Care, and the host families, and wanted to walk through qualifications for au pairs. So it tells you, yeah, let's maybe look at benefits. So for benefits during your on-time program, so I guess they'll pay you, they'll pay to and from the US, a J1 visa sponsorship, insurance for 12 months, childcare, au pair academy childcare training and introduction. This might be too little. Let me try to make them bigger. That way you can see. So you get to earn about $215 minimum, private bedroom, 1.5 free days per week, plus 10, and up to 500 USD in education money to attend a college. It says you must complete 6 credits. Contact, you get to attend a monthly cultural events, opportunity to extend the program up to 12 months, 30 days to travel the country at the end of your program. So you get that to travel at the end of. Then when you're looking at the qualifications, these are some of what we had mentioned. What are you, English, prior experience, prior childcare experience is always good. Be between 18 to 26 years of age, have a driving license, be available for a 12-month position, which is the initial, and which you can extend for another 12 months. You graduate, a secondary school or high school equivalent, and be in good health and no criminal record. And then, you have to meet the US entry requirements. They walk you through what are some of the, some of the things you'll be doing. You'll be entertaining kids, preparing kids' meals, bathing them, dressing them, packing their lunches, taking their, and, in light household tasks. So you pretty much just taking care of the kids. That's what you're signing up to. Not to be, not to do household chores. It says mostly just kids and stuff. So basically what you do is you create an online profile, create an online profile. And then after that, the host family will find you and do host family interviews. After that, you will travel to the US if you're selected by the host family. and then and then they say au pair care will book your flight to the US. Au pair care will book your flights to the US. They'll give you, they give you an au pair academy training experience. So yeah, that's one of the programs. And then really going back to talk about au pairs, African au pairs in the US. What I'm gonna do is, that's one. I don't know if I want to go through another one. I can try and go through another one just to show you, like an example of another. Let's do another quick one. That way, uh, we can kind of like share. Let's do another one that we found. Cultural care. So cultural care au pair. Cultural care au pair, make it bigger. Don't want to spend too much time here, about au pairs, au pair screening is where we are. So, complete a profile, attend an informational meeting, pass the interview and English evaluation, submit a profile and background check, and then pass through their cultural care staff. And then they give you training too. They do. And then, so they tell you au pairs, you have to be between 18 to 26 from very many different countries countrywide. And make this bigger. They have that weird noise. So it's pretty much the same thing, because they're talking about the age 18 to 26. You have to be, adventurous, educated, and young. And then to be able to join, you must be between 18 and 26, pass a physical exam with their doctor, complete secondary school or equivalent, at least 2 hours of experience caring for kids, be committed for at least 12 months, pass a background check, and have a valid driver license. So, so they do screening and training, and yeah. So, so here they're going through where do they get their au pairs, and you can see there is, in the map of Africa, there's a southern part of Africa that is listed there. So let's walk through, let's look at the au pairs that are currently, like right now. If you would go, like if I'm a host family in the US and I want to find an au pair from Africa, and I would go to the two, so there's many designated sponsors, like we saw. If you go to that list, go through that list, because that's the designated ones. Go through that list. But let me share with you. Like cultural care. Cultural care is one of them, and I can try and make it bigger. Yeah. So you'll see these are like, if these are the au pairs that are currently, that are available to be matched. If you like so it's like she's from South Africa, and you can see like the English level. So they've gone ahead and created their profiles, when they can be available. And so you would go look at their profiles, like Sabale is 25. So see, all these people are from South Africa. All these people are from South Africa. So you see all this South Africa, and they're qualified. If you're able to select them, they're qualified to come to the US. And there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them from from South Africa. A lot of them from South Africa that are available. South Africa. So many of them. And then let me show you two. And oh, maybe before we go there, what are other countries that, that are they from? So there's also au pairs Europe, there's also au pairs Asia, and there's also au pairs Latin America. Latin America. What does that mean? That means that if you're from a country like Kenya and you find yourself in, let's say, like the Czech Republic, you can be able to sign up to come as an au pair to the US. If you're like from France, Austria, all these countries that they have au pairs in, that means they have agencies there, and you can sign up from there to come to the US. And so I showed you South Africa because I know, like, South Africa, for a country, in a lot of countries, there's no visa. You don't require a visa to go to South Africa. So if you want to come as an au pair, one of the ways you can do is you can go South Africa and then apply as an au pair from there. Go to au pair care, go to, cultural, go to au pair care, go to cultural care, or go to any of those ones that have, au pairs in South Africa. They have, because so if they have au pairs in South Africa, that means they have their offices there, and you can be able to come to the US through those countries. So yeah, so this is au pair care. They have, Ecuador, Turkey. There's a lot of Africans in Turkey, and so if you want to come from Turkey too, you can do that as well. Ecuador. So there is, South Africa. South Africa is there too. Brazil. South Africa, and you can see there's South Africa. There's a lot in South Africa, and so yeah, there's tons of them. I don't want to go through. I don't want to go through all of them. South Africa, China, Germany, Japan, Colombia, South Africa, Brazil, China, yeah, Mexico, South Africa, Colombia, Mexico, South Africa. So I think just if you would just go to those websites, and what I'll do is I'll pin the link in the description. You'll be able to see that, that there's au pairs from Africa that are coming to the US. Actually, I know a friend who lives in Colorado, because I live in Colorado, who they just brought someone in from South Africa. And so I know for sure South Africans are coming to the US as au pairs. And you can see, like, from the program, that there's a lot of South Africans that are there. And so it's not that you cannot come to the US as an au pair from, Africa, but it's just that some countries are easier for these agencies to go to and bring people here to the US as au pairs. Hopefully that helped you. So I'll put the links here. I'll put the descriptions here. If you're like in Europe, if you're in Turkey, if you're in Turkey is in Europe, if you're in Europe, if you're in Asia, if you're in South Africa, and you want to come to the US, as an au pair, you can be able to use those countries to be able to come here, even though your country, your East African, West African, or whichever country is not bringing au pairs directly to the US. You can still qualify to come as an au pair, because it's not that these countries have been banned. It's just that these agencies right now are not operating in those African countries. Hopefully, this was beneficial and informative for you. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope really, I hope this was educative for you. And don't forget to hit that like. Please hit that like button, and uh, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and hit that notification bell, and then you'll get notified. you know, you'll get notified every time I upload a video. And then if there's something that there's content that you want me to do for you, please, you know, please leave me a comment. Let me know. Let me know how I did. And yeah, hopefully me showing you all these things kind of made it make sense for you. So if you would come to the US, you would come with a J1 visa that, you know, you have 12 months and then you have up to another 12 months that you can renew and come to the US. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. And hope you guys have a good, you know, rest of your day. All right. Thank you. Goodbye.